Hey, it's Glines, my Automator. Another episode of What We Automate with AutoHotkey. I'm back home, at least for now. I'll go back to Vegas in another month. Anyway, let's see. We're sharing desktop. Use prompt assistant here. Launch our recently modified files. This, of course, actually is launching like 5 or 6 programs. Changes my DPI. It's going to open the recently modified files. There we go. Boy, that DPI looks bigger than normal. Launch that URL monitor, and maybe I have my you know what, maybe my scaling is a bit different because I was working remotely. I should take a look at that because my DPI adjuster changes the DPI but not the scaling of the font size, and that might be making it bigger. It's okay that it goes across the screen. So let's see, we got 121 files. I don't know what, there we go. Wow, that was interesting. Usually I thought they load slow, more on the spot, but there we go. So AutoHotkey Script Maker, yes, Irfan has been doing a lot of updates to ASM. One of the things, which I can pull it up here, I think, I can maybe demonstrate the problem. I don't think I have a shortcut to the most recent version. Oh no, I do. So now when you select with the mouse, it's actively showing you what's highlighted. Before, you'd let go and then you'd see it. It was really annoying to me. And what was funny was Irfan's like, no, and he was using his keyboard, and he's like, see, it works. And I'm like, no, not when you use the mouse. And now it's very fluid. And during the hero call, Irfan explained what we did was we used git, a repository jumped early version, it was working, and then we just kept switching between different versions. And he spotted what it was, and it was an on message thing. And so what was happening was, as he was selecting text, it was doing a ton of stuff it should not have been doing. It should have been only on the, I think it's under the run here, this window. I think he said he checked, because we checked for newer versions of AutoHotkey, and on this window, something to do with like if there is a newer version available, it'll let you know, which is really cool. It also notifies you in the main script. Hey, there's the main editor. If there's a newer version available of what you're using, it will tell you once. But then when you come back in here, every time when you load this, it goes and checks and lets you have kind of flashes in here that there's a newer, more updated version, because it's so easy to get out of sync, right? So very cool little approach there. Let me move, I see my head's over the side. There we go, a little better. I think the DPI thing adjusted that. So anyway, that was one of the big differences. We also, and actually I'm going to have to move myself here. Here you can see I can close AutoHotkey Script Maker. However, and I don't know if I'm having the newest version of this. Oh, hey, there we go. Options. So prevent no close. So watch that right, the X. Notice now it's grayed out. I can't click it, right? So what I've found is we really probably shouldn't close your editor or your browser, but it's a habit that all of us do. So you can actually enable or disable that. I can also turn on always on top or not, which is cool. And I can switch between the light, holy cow, and the dark theme. Now you're blind. You're welcome. So those are some of the things we've added recently. And yeah, I gotta turn it back off so I can close it. That, by the way, is a script that works on all Win32 controls. So you can on a download, I'll put the link up here for no close. It has a hotkey that you can go to any window and hit your hotkey, and it will disable that no close on that program. Someone wrote me they bought it, and then anyway, I don't have to go into the details. He said it didn't work on Windows 11, and I'm like, it absolutely does. It's the window you're controlling. Some of them are not Win32 controls, and so those windows we can't disable that. You know, we'd have to make a custom thing for your specific program. But there's a lot of programs out there that use the Windows 32 controls, and so for those it works great. All right, so we also know, on mine, I know I don't have this, but we have a new version of here with all these tools. So these are some of the tools that bring Windows Mouse. That's a great one. The clipboard format monitor, so you can tell what's available in your clipboard if it's RTF or HTML or plain text or a picture. The DPI adjuster, that was the one I was mentioning earlier. Error capture, which is great when it'll pop up with an error and then it hides the window and switches back to your browser. So if you were using AI to interact with it, it saves a crap load of time, and it copies the error to your clipboard so you can just paste it in your browser. Get active path, one of my absolute most famous loved scripts. I have to have it because you can hit a hotkey anywhere. For me, it's Control-Shift-C, and a lot of programs gives you the path to the active file. Really, really, really helpful. On-screen display, so simple file renamer. You can easily rename. I'll just pull up the GUI just so you can see it. You drag files that you want to rename. Let's see here. These edits. I'll just grab what's selected and bring them in here. And here, I'm not going to hit apply because it would actually break my other script that's running right now with these. But I could do a search for, let's say, 2. And here you get a preview where you'll see 2 is gone because I didn't rep 2, and we'll say DDDDD so you can see what it's doing, right? So anywhere there's the words TO, and here, I could make it case sensitive. This is gonna, I think, all uppercase. That's gonna change the your new text. That's funny. I thought we used to have a thing here to say make it case sensitive. Recurse, so this would go over the folders, and this makes it a regex. But I thought we could tell it was make it case sensitive. That's interesting. I guess we lost that. But yeah, it's very cool. You can hit apply, and it would go and rename your files for you. Again, I'm actually running these on another tool, so I don't want to change them because we're sandwiching the intro and the outros together. But these are all in our, I think it's $12.99 version of AutoHotkey Script Maker. We have an AutoHotkey Task Manager. That one I have a hotkey to launch that from here. And you can filter just like a Task Manager. Search here. How many do I have running? That's 23 scripts. And what's cool is it's super simple to see the full path, and you can, right click and say, restart, exit. You can open the directory or folder. So this is a cool script. Close that guy. The Automator Resource Finder. This is a really, really cool tool. So let me run it. I don't run it very often because I have a different tool I use. But you can search for any topic. Let's say clipboard. Now there are downloads. There's other things that might be lessons or things. There are YouTube videos on the topic. And you can also say, well, I'm looking specifically for a V2 script. So here are our V2 scripts that we have on the Automator. That's why it's the Automator Resource Finder. But if you wanted help, you can look in the help. And this would bring up the help for clipboard, things that are in the clipboard. And then the other, which, like I said, there's different topics and stuff, or just our videos. This is just our videos because we have to loop across the videos and go pull them, and it's not a super simple thing to do. Because we're admins on our channel, we can do that easily for ours, but getting a list of the other ones, and even then, knowing if they're good enough quality, there are some topics that I'm just like, I don't know if I trust them. So, very useful script. This is a great script to have, regardless of whether you know what you're doing. Our window snipping tool. Actually, that's interesting. Is that got? Oh, it's a V1 script. We haven't updated it yet, so I'm surprised we included that, but I guess we did. Here's the script maker itself. This is my version. This is the one I use, which doesn't have the tools built into it, nor because I have to update my license because it's going to check for your license. So here are a bunch of stuff around that for mine. And the GUI, Scintilla, yeah. So all this stuff, yeah, these are all related. Editor, we gotta rename this folder. So that's the vast majority of what Irfan's been working on. Again, this is like, I don't know, going on the 3rd month where he's been working on it full time. A lot of effort's been into that editor, but it's really come a long ways. Our transcriber tool, I forget what little bug we found in that. There was something interesting that happened in what was it? Ray had a problem with it. Maybe that was what we fixed. I forget, one of the hero members. Anyway, that's a great tool if you're trying to transcribe a lot of files. It makes it super easy. Just drag your files into there, and it will transcribe them for you. It saves them into files, and you can have it get your. Let me just launch it now. Let's see. That's the main. I have to go to the. Well, I can open the folder. And then here's the GUI. So we go up one. When you purchase this, it's an executable, just FYI, so you don't understand. So I'll just launch the executable. I'll probably say I don't have a license, which is funny. So you drag in your video or audio file, and you can choose whether you want it to also generate titles, a summary, or tags. And this is a link where you build, you can get the image URLs. Yeah, this is where you put your links to where you want to go, get your thumbnails. Crazy helpful tool. We also made some changes to it. We predominantly use Assembly AI for the transcription. You have to, but for the summary, I think you have the choices of these. So you can choose different models. You can choose your hotkeys for doing stuff. And if you want to return sentiment analysis or not, most people don't. So we made this as an option now that you can disable. That way your transcriptions are a little cleaner and smaller. But I almost never actually want the transcriptions. I want the summary, and I want to use the transcriptions to generate a title and the tags, and it saves me a crazy amount of time. So that's that tool. Claude skills. This is a cool little script that I used Claude during the hero call Friday. Ray, a hero member who uses AI a lot, was mentioning, he showed a couple of his skills, and then he was saying how he has a lot of skills, but he can't remember them. And then, Claude is supposed to go check your skills to see if you have a skill that will do what you're trying to do, but it's kind of hit and miss. So I was like, hey, you should have an AutoHotkey tool. So right here, this tool, which interestingly enough, I think it's the DPI. Let me change my DPI and then restart it. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to update this because it was working, looked great. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to have to add the little blurb to adjust for the DPI. And we got color schemes. You can change the color schemes of the scintilla control down here. You can set the size of the font. Let's make this 15, so it makes it a little bigger. And then these are the different skills that I have on my computer. And I can click them and I can search. So let's say I'm looking for image, which apparently I don't have anything. View. Well, and here's where if you can't remember, I can look right here and say internal, right? I know that's there because I can see it. So you can see how it's filtering this list, and then you select it, and you can if you care to, you can look at the skill. But I can also change this to search the content. So it doesn't just search the name. That's what without this, that's what it's doing, is just searching the name right here. But you can have it search the content as well. And say document, and I don't know, apparently there's a lot of documents. Also, I built in a validity checker, so if it will kind of look at some of the rules you have and say, hey, this one might have some problems, it's not 100%, right? Also, it gives you the date modified, which is great, because then I can, if I know I've worked on the skill recently, I can take a look at that. And also, you can actually, this is an editor, so I can make a change here and hit save changes. So this is a cool little tool we've put on the Automator recently, but it obviously needs to adjust the DPI. But very cool little tool. You can choose your hotkey. So this hotkey will bring up, so I can hit Control-Alt-S, and it will pull it up. So you can have it running and just have a hotkey and pull it up really quickly, because when you want this, you want it right away, right? You got to think about that on tools that you're going to be wanting right away. You want to have them usually already running and just have a hotkey to pop them open, right? So, yeah, I built this tool. Claude did a really good job. I could disable the word wrap. And then here's where you set your path. This is where my path is. You set your path to your skill files, and then it will go loop over them and find them. So, very cool little tool I built. I think that was Friday afternoon. And then Saturday I showed it to Ray, and he liked it. But yeah, that was a cool little tool. I had older, I like to increment and move them into the old folder so I don't lose, because I don't use Git, right? So I just push them over there. And everything's under Dropbox, so I could restore, but it's just easier to, at times, move them so I don't have to worry about restoring things. Claude skills, these are the actual skills where they are. I used the triggers class and that thing to have the hotkey, and Claude did all of that for me. Rename drive. Whew. Now, I'm not going to show the scripts here. It's okay, but we're incorporating these into our fake drive creator. And let me show you. I can show you this. Let me bring over Explorer. We have a tool to create virtual drives. And before, I didn't think it was possible for the virtual drives like this. Let's see here. The L, the M, the S. These all, I could not rename them. They borrowed the name of this, whatever they're based off of, which in this case, they were the C drive. And Connie, another Hero member, had, Isaias and I, several years ago when we wrote the tool that creates the fake drives, we tried and we couldn't do it. So we thought it wasn't possible. Well, Connie didn't know that we had tried, which, and then even, not that should have stopped him anyway, but he used AI and he got it to rename one of his scripts, one of his folders. And then lo and behold, I went and looked, and actually at that time when I retried it, I was able to rename this drive, this virtual drive. So, but what I couldn't do is rename this one. This M drive was based off of, I forget it was the E or F. These are both real drives, but they're not my main C drive. And it was really weird. Nor could I also put in icons. So after struggling for a couple hours with Claude, I finally said, okay, you know what? I'm going to use deep research in every tool that I know that I have deep research, which is Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and Grok. And so I used deep research and I explained the problem. And Grok, I didn't actually check the others because Grok nailed it. And what it was when your main drive does not have a label, you can add a label to your virtual drives. It'll pass through. So Grok figured that out. We have not implemented it. I tested it and I'm doing it manually. So I know how to do it. We just have to bring it back into our tool. And then it was the registry setting was under something called like scripts icons or something. It was really weird, even though we were changing the labels. So I said, well, this is dumb. We should be able to change the script icons. And so I kept trying and trying and I couldn't do it. So again, I went back to Grok and I explained, this is weird. What can possibly be going on here? And for whatever reason, so the answer is I had to, even though there's a place for it in the registry, it wasn't using them. But when I used the user registry, so the custom settings for the person that's logged in instead of the generic one, then I could change the icons. So now I know how to be able to change the icons for virtual drives and the names and the labels. Also, by the way, it doesn't have to be just for virtual drives. You can do it with all your drives. So I'll finish like this one I didn't put in an icon for, nor did this one, which obviously media, I'll put like a, video or speakers or something. In Dropbox, I'll probably put the Dropbox icon. So very, very cool. So we'll be updating our script that does that at some point. And that what's cool is like this B drive, that's my entire Dropbox. I don't have to navigate up here to Dropbox. And like the S drive is, oops, and I clicked G, sorry. The S drive is a share, it's under my Dropbox also, but it's just a folder, right? And the folder is similar on Irfan and Isaias's computers because we work a lot. And this allows us to have the same paths and easily access files. We all have the same paths to our files, which is it's such a cheat. So much easier to work with. So I was really happy to have figured that out. I shouldn't say me, Grok figured it out. Thank you, Grok. But yeah, I was almost ready to give up, but I took one more stab at it and got lucky. All right, so these are the different approaches that I was testing. Yeah, media merger. This one, that's what's running on the other screen. Let's see if it's. Yeah, here we go. And now don't get caught up in how it looks at the moment because this looks horrible. But I have intros and outros, and it's running right now. So Irfan had it changed, but I should change the colors. The colors change so I know not to disturb it. But this is ludicrous, right? Like the colors are horrible. So I should maybe make that blue text instead of yellow. But it takes. Normally I had like 15 intros, 15 outros. And it would randomly pick one, but I know people watching these videos, you want to get to it, right? So I created one intro that's very short. I think it's like 6 seconds, and then it'll take the whatever files here, and then it'll append one of these outros. I figured if you made it that far, you might be more interested in the Hero program, which is what we generally refer to because it's such a great program. This is the one it's working on right now, so it does all the mashing together for me. So. Right now, my computer's running through all of these, And let me see here. This is where it dumps them in the same folder. I've thought about telling it to put it into a different folder. And this is where I use that script renamer. So see where it says concat? So this is the source file, and then this with the concat is the done version. And what I do is I move all the ones with concat into a done folder, and then I remove the concat, and actually I replace it with AHK Hero extract. So then that becomes the name of the video when I upload them to YouTube. So very cool little solution. But this tool is great. Actually, I don't even know if we sell this tool. But let me know if you're interested. It's really cool. Time tracker. We had a good little lesson on that in the hero call. I didn't realize I made any changes to Ultimate Spy. I guess Irfan, while he's doing something, made some changes. I forget. I did make a change to this OBS banner. I think it was on timing of it or something. I don't remember. I don't think actually worked, so I shouldn't even be looking at it. This one, oh man, I can't wait. I think, is this a download already? I think it might be. It really, really sped up my when you're looking at a folder that has hundreds or thousands of files, Windows 11 is really slow to load it. So I was reading an article, and I, of course, was really lazy. So I read the article, and I'm like, oh, let me give this a try. So I fed it to Claude and said, write a script that will do what this article is suggesting. And so let me show you even and then I what? I don't know. Oh, this is the older version. So this is actually cool. So so this was the initial oh no, I'm sorry. I was trying to refer. I'm so sorry. I was trying to get my Windows 11 Explorer to recognize when new files show up. This one is the one that I was just describing that forces the speed. Now check out this GUI. I was using Claude, and I built a normal looking GUI, and then I said, hey, isn't there a skill that I have that makes things pretty? And so I said, adapt it to AutoHotkey. So this, if you look at the code, interesting enough, is all standard AutoHotkey GUI stuff, just applied with some themes and colors, like in different ways. So you enable and disable the auto discovery. That's what the thing that really slows it down. So it should be disabled. So I just disabled, and then it restarts Explorer. Hopefully nothing crashed on me. So now when I relaunch this thing, it should say it's disabled. Yeah, so which actually disabled probably should be green because that's what you want, and the enabled should be red because that, even though it's kind of ironic, that's what really slows down your Explorer. So yeah, so we did that. Here's an update to no close. I think we just made some changes to the. Oh look, there's no script object, which there should be, or maybe that's the V1 version. My bad. So the V2 version, that should have, and Irfan was demonstrating in the hero call, he has a workflow he's sometimes using anti-gravity, which is Google's version of VS Code. I know a lot of terminology, sorry, but he was showing how he had written a workflow to automate adding our classes, doing a bunch of the steps. And right now, we were in the hero call, we were watching it, and he has to approve like every step along the way, and it would drive me batty. But still saves him time, but not a lot because it's so much of just sitting there clicking. So at some point, I think he's just trying to make sure he's comfortable with it, and then we'll disable the forcing of clicking. This is a great little script. So I mentioned it is now it went. You can. What's cool is when I was on my trip to Vegas, I was at times checking my stock price, my Fidelity account to see how much money my portfolio is worth. So this is not my portfolio. I have different stocks in there and stuff. Some of these I have. Actually, I think no, I don't have any IBM. Anyway, so let me remove that because I don't have that one. Yes, and so but I do have. No, I sold AMD. Excuse me. And by the way, this one does have a dark theme, so there we go. And I can store how it's sorted. But anyway, the main point of this tool is it allows me to add a stock. Let's say, hey, it's blank, yeah. We'll go back with IBM because I just know that, and we'll say 500. Oh, yeah, I'm wealthier. Add stock. So now it has it, but notice the price and value isn't there. So I can say get prices, And now it would say, hey, for IBM, that would be worth 153,000 right now. When I ran this, that's how much that would be worth, right? So the cool thing is I don't have to have my Fidelity password used anywhere. I'm just saying, here's how many of these stocks I have, because I rarely go buy new stocks. I just have the same amount, but the prices fluctuate a lot, right? So it was really, really easy way for me to get an idea of how my portfolio is doing on any day and time. I can just run this thing and it'll pull up each individual one and then show me the total. And yes, could I have things here about the change from last week or last month or whatever? Yes, we could, but I wanted something super simple. Claude wrote all of this for me in about an hour, I'd say. I got this thing. I love the dark theme and the ability to I can change the sort on the headers here, which is an interesting thing because I have dollar signs and commas, and that makes it a little more complicated. But I can sort on the value, and I can say I want descending in value, so put my big guys at the top. And yeah, very, very cool little script I wrote. That was the older version, Ultimate Spy. I'm not sure what Irfan did on that one, but it's a phenomenal tool. And our Zoom admin. This one I was making some. Now I need to go see. This is number 2 actually. I was changing it so it would auto remind me 1 minute before the hero calls start with the audio sound. It will play a beep, and it also, once it clicks to be the right time, starts Zoom's recording for me and is supposed to let in the participants. That one I don't know if it actually worked properly. But I'm like, why am I watching the clock and doing this manually? We always, right once we see the clock turns on the hour, we want to start the recording and let people in, right? So I incorporated that into the tool and the audio reminder, because we're also watching the time, be like, oh, but it's easy to get distracted, right? So I'm like, why don't I have the thing remind me when it's 1 minute out, play a noise? So I'm like, hey everyone, we're about to start. So that's what we've been up to this week. Lots of fun stuff. If any of that interests you, seriously consider joining the Hero Club. It's a lot of fun. We have a great time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.